In this video, we're going to turn this open, wasted space into some extra storage, but also a full-size set of stairs that makes it easier to access that storage. But the best part about it is, all I gotta do is hit this button, and it opens it up to have full open space down here. Of course, after I get it all cleaned up and everything. But yeah, this is awesome. Let me show you how I made it.
Hey.
Unfortunately, I messed up in my calculations and I had to put an extra 2x8 above my original one. Unfortunately, it was just a little bowed, so I had to correct that. The way I planned for the lumber was pretty easy because the inside of here is a little bit under 12 foot, so I was able to get 12-foot lengths and then use the cutoffs right here for this joist, and then the middle right here will be stairs, and then the remainder part will obviously be for this side. Alright, so here's where we have arrived at the fun part of the project, figuring out the stairs to go up here. Here's how I'm attempting to calculate my stairs properly. Went on to mycarpentry.com and there's this stair calculator you can use on there. Now I went down to the manual stair calculator. I put in my total rise, which I'm attempting to be the level of the plywood on the loft area. And the total run is what I had to mess with because I know my complete stringer length, but they don't really let you input the stringer length because you don't normally do that. So I kept lowering my total run until down on the stringer length, it was approximately what my board is needing to be. So I need to be at 125 inches and I'm at 124 and 13/16. So I think that's about as close as I can get it to being accurate on everything else with the step, rise, and runs. Now you can keep customizing how many steps you want, and I put in 12, and with that, our step height will be 8 3/8. And one other important thing I also did was use the flush calculation. So if I thought it up all correctly, hopefully we should be good, and hopefully we don't waste a board. So because my brain gets really confused with these measurements and angles and everything, I'm going to try to do a simple explanation of what I did here. According to the measurements that I input here, I'm supposed to have a step height of 10 and 1/16. So I just tried to do it a hair above 10 on this because it doesn't show 16th marks. And my tread depth, or the tread run, is supposed to be 7 5/8. So there is a mark for that, and I have it at 7 5/8 right here. And I have that clamped onto a board here just to sit it up against the 2x here as a little jig, so it's always staying the same. Just be careful with it so you don't knock your clamps or anything. So I'm just going to bring this up and keep this pressed against here until our corner here intersects with the end of the board. And that is going to be our top step that is flush with the floor on the loft. So now then, to continue what our steps are going to be, I'm just going to intersect this point and this point together. We can make our line. So there is what our stairs are going to be looking like. And here's the top of the stairs. We're going to cut this flat, so that's resting against the back wall. And then we'll be cutting out these triangles. It's going to be some short treads and some high rises, but I think it'll be a lot better and free up the space here. That's not going to be too bad. I'm going to be pretty happy with that. See if I can try it out without falling down. I'll be able to take those steps pretty easily. All right, so I want to take a remeasurement of the full stringer and then see if I can put a 2x up against the face, see if I still have enough room to swing out. All right, so here I have my front facing, the kick plate really, of plywood that I'm going to do on the front sides of these steps. And I already have some 2x8s up here that are going to be the actual steps. And then I'm just going to put them on right here. And the reason I'm doing it with it set up here is because I wanted to make sure that I have them all nailed on, with this being squared up in the place that I want it to end up. Hopefully that helps it in keeping this straight, and hopefully after I have everything else hooked up that it'll come up and down straight in its position rather than bumping all the edges over here. All right, so our access is finally finished to get all the way up to here. Now we just gotta work on storing it. And to do that, we're gonna use this. Once again, Harbor Freight coming in handy. Now originally I was gonna try maybe a winch, but I changed to doing a hoist simply because this was about $70 cheaper versus their 120 volt winch. This placement for the hoist ended up being a waste of time, which you'll find out here in a minute. Now there's probably a million different ways you could set this hoist system up, but inevitably there's going to be someone say that my way was the exact wrong way to do it. Now the reason that I wanted the hoist to be down here rather than mounted up top is because I wanted to turn this one single point into 2 points that drop on each side of the stairs, so I don't have to worry about unhooking anything from the stairs. So what I'm going to do is connect it to each side of the stairs, and it's going to be one single loop that's going to come up through pulleys, and that's going to come down attached to the single point. That'll also divide it directly in half, so it hopefully lifts both sides up evenly and also will be out of the way for when the steps lower down. Now what I did down here for the steps to kind of calculate how much space I have from the side to where it's going to be is I know at the bottom it stops about right here, up just a little bit. So I added the measurement of the width of the steps from here to the top, and that's approximately with those stacked on top. So with those on top, I took the measurement of 7 feet down to here where I'm going to mount the eye bolts on the inside. So to help me figure out where I need to put the pulleys in relation to the width of this, I just have this weighted down string, and I'm going to just inset a little bit, kind of eyeing where the eye lag screw might be on the inside of the stairs. All right, so I have everything hooked up now, and this is going to be the first initial test to see if this actually works. The sounds aren't really encouraging me. Oop. Okay, so it works, but it does need some tweaks. There are 2 safety measures that I put in place to make sure that these stairs do not fall down. This first one is putting bolts on both the stair side and the back wall mounted side. So those bolts hold the top portion of the stairs, and instead of using bolts for the bottom portion to stay up, what I did was install a tipper latch, and I used these dowel nuts in the 2x to act as the secure way to hold this tipper latch. All right, so the first time didn't work, and really, I don't know how many times, second, third, fourth, how many it's been that I tested this out, figured out something else that needed to be worked on. I needed to end up moving the hoist back further to equalize the space of the wire coming down here. I needed to do some trimming off the front of the stairs here. I needed to change where I was hanging it. I mean, just so many different trial and error things with this. But finally, it's working. So let's see how it works. And I mean, it stops perfect on the dot pretty much where it's completely stored up there. As you can see, it's sitting up there really nice. It's above our ceiling line of the main joist. I can't tell you how thrilled I am to finally have this and open up the space down here, finally get that corner junk stair out of the way, and just have a really nice staircase to go up and down, but also to be out of the way.